I hope you don't have any doubts. Okay. So now we'll rush to our next topic, which is a passive component. Okay. Till now we have seen the active component, all the parts of active component, that was ideal, non-ideal, dependent or independent. Okay. Now we will see next, which is the passive component. So passive components are those components which absorb or dissipate the power. I have already told the definition. So tell me, what do you mean by dissipation? What is the meaning of dissipation? Tell me. And we all know resistor dissipates the power and inductor and capacitor stores the power or absorb the power. Okay. So tell me, what is the meaning of dissipates? Loss. Okay. No, dissipates doesn't mean loss. Okay. Dissipates means conversion of one form of energy into another form of energy. Resistor dissipates the power means resistor converts electrical energy into a heat energy. That heat energy is loss or advantage depending upon the application. For example, take a bulb. If I am talking about bulb, what is happening? That heat energy is the responsible for brightness of the bulb. So there the heat energy is not the loss. That is advantageous for us in case of bulb. So never say dissipation means loss. Okay. And in the same case, if I am talking about some normal circuit, that heat energy is a loss. Okay. So loss or advantage depend on the what type of application you are using. Dissipation means conversion of one form of energy into another form. So resistor convert electrical energy into a heat energy. Got it? So first of all, we will talk about the resistor. Resistor everybody knows. Okay, what is the resistor? Its unit is ohm, represented by this symbol and all. Okay, Ohm's law. I am writing two equations of Ohm's law. Tell me which one is correct. This is equation first. This is equation second. Okay, tell me which equation is the Ohm's law or both are the Ohm's law. Second. I know this is the common mistake done by the students. See, if you have learned about, if you remember your school time, whichever board you are, CBSE, ICSE or state board, whichever board you are, you have learned the Ohm's law in class of 10th, 11th, I guess. So in that book, or I can say according to the founder of the Ohm's law, Sir Ohms, according to that, Ohm's law is this one, I is equal to VR. The definition of Ohm's law that you will see anywhere in some authentic book, the definition of Ohm's law is that the current passed through any load is proportional to the voltage applied across it. Means the current passed through any load is proportional to the voltage applied across it. It means current is the output, voltage is the input, according to the Ohm's law. And the most important thing, it's proportional to the voltage at constant temperature. These three words are the most important. At constant temperature. If temperature is not constant, Ohm's law will not follow. Always remember that. And if I'm talking about the practical life, you can say temperature is not constant. So any element around you, you are sitting in a room, you have a fan, you have a AC, you have a tube light. Any element around you are not following the Ohm's law because temperature is not constant. But the beauty of this law is that without this law, you cannot create anything. Okay? If you see the practical life around you, no element is following the Ohm's law because temperature is changing continuously. You can say temperature is changing very slowly or there was a small amount of change, but no element is following the Ohm's law ideally. But without this, you cannot create any other network, any other devices. Okay? So this point, that current is directly proportional to voltage applied it. Now, if I am talking about mathematically, Mathematically, both equations are correct. I equal to V by R, V equal to IR. Okay, this is known as the first form of Ohm's law. This is the first form of Ohm's law. Always remember that. Sometimes they can ask in some government exam that what is the first form of Ohm's law. First form is the I equal to V by R. Okay. Now before this, we have also the 0th form of Ohm's law. So anyone can tell me what is the 0th form? Or I can twist the question like this. Have you ever seen the derivation of Ohm's law? In the derivation of Ohm's law, for the EC guys who have done the VLSI subject, in the derivation of Ohm's law, one particular equation comes out. That equation is the 0th form. And after rearranging that equation, we got I equal to V by R. So anyone remember the derivation of Ohm's law? No one? See, when you will see the derivation of Ohm's law, whenever you get time, see the derivation of Ohm's law on net or in any book. Derivation of Ohm's law gives you this equation, J equal to sigma E. After rearranging this equation, you will get I equal to V by R. So this is the 0th form of Ohm's law, where this is a current density, electrical field, and the conductivity sigma. Okay, J equal to sigma E. And after rearranging this, we will get the first form, which is the I equal to V by R. Okay, so this is the equation. Everybody knows, not a big deal. In network, actually we use the 3 domains. We use the time domain, we use the frequency domain, and we use the Laplace domain to solve the question. So if I'm talking about time domain, in case of time domain, current is equal to Vt divided by R. In case of Laplace domain, Is equal to Vs by R. And in case of frequency domain, I omega equal to V omega by R. So these 3 domains we use in the network. So I hope आपको Laplace, I hope you know how to find out the Laplace. Okay, and if you don't know, so only basic you need to find out Laplace for the networks. So tell me, everyone knows how to find Laplace or not? Good. So I hope in signal system you have learned the Laplace. Okay. In networks you will see the Laplace, but on the basic things, not a very high-fi. Okay. So see, time domain, Laplace, and frequency domain. Now one more important thing. Again, resistor is divided into 2 parts. One is linear, second is the non-linear. So just linear element are those elements which follows the Ohm's law. So if the Ohm's law is following particular resistor, it is known as the linear resistor. And if the Ohm's law is not following, it is known as the non-linear resistor. So give me one example of non-linear resistor. And then basically for the electrical students, give one example for the non-linear resistor. Diode. Pooja, I'm not talking about non-linear device. I'm talking about non-linear resistor. Diode is a non-linear device. Transistor. Again, transistor is not a resistor. Varactor. Varistor. These are the example of non-linear resistance, and I said this is important for electrical guys because for an electrical in power system we have learnt about the protection system. In protection system we use this element varactor for protecting our towers from the switching overload or from the flashing. So some in I guess in 95 and 96 in GATE exam they have asking the example of non-linear resistor. So for the in electrical paper, not in electronics paper. So in that the formula was the varactor. Answer was the varactor. Okay, so some names you should remember. They can ask in exam, and if they and most important, they can also ask in the interview. Okay, so varactor is the example of non-linear resistor. But in our case, we don't have a non-linear resistor in our course. Okay. Now, after resistor, we have inductor. After resistor, we have an inductor. So, again, I know inductor, you all know inductor is nothing. Representation by L, unit is Henry, and this is the, okay. So, in resistor, we have a relation that I is directly proportional to V. Okay, then I can say this is a linear resistor. Tell me, how can I say can that inductor is a linear or not? From what equation can I say inductor is linear? From what equation inductor's linearity is defined? Tell me. If in an inductor flux is directly proportional to the current passed through it, then the inductor is a linear inductor. Remember that. In inductor, flux is directly proportional to the current, and that proportionality constant is the inductance, and we have assuming number of turn is equal to 1. So this is the basic equation that defines the linearity in the inductor, that if a flux is directly proportional to the current, the inductor is linear, otherwise it is not linear. Again, in time domain we know inductor voltage is equal to L di by dt. Inductor voltage is equal to L di by dt. And one more thing, these two equation is the second form of Ohm's law. So VLT is equal to L di by dt. Again, in Laplace domain, VLS is equal to SLIS, or we are assuming initial current is 0. In frequency domain, VL omega is equal to J omega L I omega, where XL is nothing but reactance. Got it? So these are the three forms to represent the inductor, and the important point is the second form of Ohm's law. Okay, and next important point is this one, phi equal to Li. That a linearity of an inductance is defined by this equation. Okay, now give me example of non-linear inductor. Any example of non-linear inductor? Non-linear inductor, give me an example. Inductor with initial charge, no? See, what is the inductor? How does inductor form? How can inductor develop? You can see there must be some metal, and around this the wire is formed like this in form of solenoid, and we can say this is an inductor. Now linearity and non-linearity depend on this metal, this one. So if I am talking about non-linear inductor, example are alloy core inductor. Example are alloy core inductor, means if the core is made up of alloy, then it is the non-linear inductor. Next example is the steel core inductor. If the core is made up of steel, it is the steel core inductor. In case of linear inductor, we have air core inductor, which means if there is a vacuum inside here, then it will be a linear inductor. That's why linear inductor in practical case is not so much useful. Whenever you see the practical case, there must be a non-linear inductor in which flux is not directly proportional to current. It is proportional to some power of current. Okay? But again, without the knowledge of linear, you cannot create the non-linear inductor. Okay? Now we will see the capacitor. Before going to capacitor, tell me what is the formula of energy stored in inductor. Formula of energy stored in inductor is half Li square. Half Li square. What is the formula? Half Li square. Now tell me one thing. What does this I represent? It is RMS value, average value, peak value, or instantaneous value. Which value is this? I. RMS, average, peak, inductance. It is an important thing because in question we will use this formula. We must know which current we will use. Give the answer. Don't wait for me. Give the answer. You will think about it and give the answer. Then you will see that your thinking is correct or not. Instantaneous. Correct. See, if I talk about DC, if I am talking about DC, in case of DC, it is an average value. In case of DC, it is an average value. But if I talk about the AC, in case of AC, it is an instantaneous value. Always remember that. It is not a peak value or a RMS value. Right now we are talking about DC. So in DC, all these values are equal. In DC, we don't read about RMS, peak or instantaneous. In DC, all these values are important. But in AC, all these values are different. So always remember, if you are using this formula in AC, the current will be instantaneous current, not the RMS, average or peak. Average is nothing but average is another name of DC. So in DC, it is a DC current or average current. Okay. Now we will see the capacitor. For the capacitor, tell me how can we identify a capacitor is linear or non-linear? Which equation will tell us this? Capacitor is linear or non-linear? Tell me which equation will tell us that capacitor is linear or non-linear? Correct, Shivam. For the capacitor, we have that charge stored is directly proportional to the voltage applied across it. Okay, or we can see disproportionately constant, nothing but CV. This is the third form of Ohm's law. Again, in time domain, I know everybody knows how can we represent that. I is equal to C dV by dt. Then in frequency domain, or first we will talk about Laplace domain. In Laplace domain, Is is equal to S times of C Vs. And in frequency domain, I omega is equal to J omega C V omega, or I can say V omega is equal to 1 upon J omega C I omega, and this 1 upon J omega C is nothing but reactance, capacitive reactance. Okay, again I am going to ask you example of non-linear capacitor. One example of non-linear capacitor. Example of non-linear capacitor. Variable capacitor. Okay, correct. We have some example like sand capacitor, electrolytic capacitor, and for a linear we have paper capacitor. Okay, so these examples they will never ask you in your GATE exam, but in your interview point of view these are important. You have some knowledge about this because this is some basic things. So for interview point of view you have to know about these examples. Okay, so these are some example of non-linear and linear capacitors. So till now we have done about what? Active component. What is the active component? Then we have done about all the types, which is ideal, non-ideal, right? Then after that we will learn about independent and dependent. Okay, after we have done the passive component, and in that we have learnt about R, L and C and the different domain in which they can represent. Now out of these three domain, which domain we can use? This is a question, that which domain we can use on which condition. So always remember, in DC, in case of DC, we always use the time domain, no any other domain. If you have a DC circuit, use the time domain. For AC, we will use the frequency domain, always. Why? See here. See, if I talk about the AC signal, for example, AC signal is sine omega t. This is my AC signal. Okay, what is the Laplace of this AC signal? Laplace of sine omega t. So Laplace of sine omega t is omega s square plus omega square. This is the Laplace of sine omega t. Now if we use this equation in our network, so you can see this become the second order, right? And second order calculation become difficult sometime. Okay, it will be lengthy and it will become difficult. You can use a Laplace domain, no problem. But if you are using Laplace domain in AC signal, you will get a second order equation. And if two signal is multiplying, sine omega t minus sine omega t, then again you have to multiply it in Laplace domain. Then again it becomes the fourth order equation, right? So if we use the Laplace domain, calculation becomes sometimes difficult. So the best way is that in AC signal, use the frequency domain. In DC signal, use the time domain. Now there is a chapter known as the transient. In transient, we will see how we use the Laplace domain in this chapter. Okay, so remember Laplace domain we'll use in this chapter, and in time domain in DC we'll use the time domain, in AC we'll use the frequency domain. Okay, keep this point in your mind, then your calculation will be so much simple without taking any time. Short circuit and open circuit. Short circuit and open circuit. Okay, so see, first of all we'll see about short circuit. Let us suppose I have some network here. We have two terminal A and terminal B, and I can short circuit this like this. Okay, what do you mean short circuit? I have connected both terminal with least resistive wire, or I can say the resistance of this wire is 0. I have approached to 0. Okay, this is the voltage A, means here the voltage is A, here the voltage is B, right? When I connected both the terminals, so you can see there is not any element present here. It means whatever the potential of this terminal, the potential of this terminal is also same, because there is not any drop here. So I can say here VB is also equal to what? VA. So what will be the VAB? VA minus VB equal to 0. So what is the first property of short circuit? in short circuit, voltage difference, or I can say potential difference, is equal to 0. Remember that in short circuit, potential difference or voltage difference is equal to 0. Okay, and the terminals which are short circuit will be at the same potential or same voltage. Now the question arises, what will be the value of current? I. What will be the value of current? Value, or what will be the I? Tell me. See, never say the current will be infinite. Why? If I'm thinking an ideal case, in ideal case, infinite current means the current of very much high value. For example, I have a value flowing 1000 kiloampere. Now, in ideal case also, there is not any wire through which this much amount of current will possible. For example, I am taking this as an ideal case. There is not any wire present here that can allow 10,000 kiloampere current to flow. It will get burned out even in case of ideal case. So never say that current is infinite. Okay, we will say the current depends on the network. It is depend on the network. Current can be negative, current can be 0, current can be positive. It all depends on the network. What is the elements connected in the network? Okay, so never say current will be infinite. Most of the people do this kind of mistakes. Okay, so in short circuit, voltage difference is 0, current depends on network, and resistance RAB is equal to 0 ohm. Open circuit. Open circuit. Okay, or we can say instead of infinite current, we can say high amount of current. That will also the appropriate answer, but the most appropriate is depends on the network. Again, in open circuit means I have removed the wire which was between the A or B, two terminals. This is A, this is B. So if I remove the wire, VAB is something value, then I becomes 0, because there is no path for a current to flow, so I becomes 0. So tell me, what will be the VAB here? Again, what will be the VAB? Again, VAB can be any value. It can be maximum, it can be minimum, it can be 0, it can be high, positive, negative, all depend on the network. It can be negative, 0, positive, maximum, any value, depends on the network. Okay, and resistance AB. In open circuit, there is no current flowing, so I can say resistance AB is infinite. Okay, so always remember, in open circuit, resistance become infinite. Okay, so these two topics very much important. Okay, what is the meaning of short circuit? What is the meaning of open circuit? Because in every chapter we will see the application of these two. Okay, got it? What is the difference between circuit and network? Tell me, other students. What is the difference between network and a circuit, or both are same? See, network. I told you definition of network. What was that? Interconnection of component. Only this definition. Interconnection of component is known as the network. Circuit is closed. Okay, fine. The network. The only definition of network is interconnection of components. If the components are interconnected in any way, that particular configuration is our network. Now, what is circuit? Circuit is a closed network. Circuit is a closed network, which means if a particular network has a closed path means starting point and ending point are same. If particular network, if a path is closed, that particular network is known as the circuit. So I can say network circuit is a part of the network, which means I can say every circuit is a network. But every network is not a circuit. Only closed network is known as the circuit. So, for example, tell me about this. Tell me about this. Is this a circuit or not? It is network, no doubt. Interconnection of elements is happening. It is a network. Tell me, it is a circuit or not? See, that's the mistake the people do in this question. See, what is the network? Definition: interconnection of components. So see here, we have three components, right? All the components are interconnected and all the interconnection is closed. Switch is open or closed, it is its function. I am not talking about function of any element. Switch is open or closed, it is its function. But you can see all the elements 1, 2, 3, they are all closed, right? So this is a circuit. Now according to the switch, I will define this is an open circuit or a closed circuit. So the switch here is open, that's why it is the open circuit. This is the open circuit. Okay, so the only definition of network is interconnection of component, and if that interconnection is closed, that is known as circuit. Got it?